Is ability grouping harmful? The short answer is yes. But to go through all the reasons it is harmful, all the academic studies, all the arguments, all the psychological evidence, this would be a 2-hour video. So I'm going to break it up and just give you the highlights.
Hey look, Sergeant Dork!
Okay, so unfortunately teasing and bullying is a part of any school regardless of how it's run, but I feel ability grouping can create a platform based on the labels and stereotypes that the lower and the higher ability groups suffer, and it becomes like this stick to beat them with. Now similarly, in-groups and out-groups are commonplace in school. This is where children place themselves in groups based on common identifiers and traits, and social ruling often dictates you're unable to deviate from the group you're allocated to. But ability grouping brings out this new social dimension to the school, where you can see children only socializing or only being allowed to socialize with those of similar ability. Typically speaking, children who are too smart or not smart enough can find themselves socially isolated. This can mean deliberately left out of other social groups and what they're doing, their activities, be it by the teacher or by the children themselves. And with any ins and out groups, you can see rivalry between them, where one group could take an advantage of the other.
I'll trade you 1,000 picoliters of my milk for 4 gills of yours.
Well, all right.
Anything you say.
Just not very bright at all.
Now, how do you think children feel when they're put in the low ability table or the low ability set? There are plenty of studies that link being part of the lower ability group has a negative impact on your self-esteem, your motivation, your attitude.
Okay. Why are we dancing around the obvious? I know it, you know it, I am dumb, okay? Dumb as a post. Think I'm happy about it?
There, Bart.
But I don't think you need me to go through these studies. I think you can appreciate how a child put in a low ability group, whether it's accurate or not, they can feel upset, distressed, not at all pleased with the arrangement. Children in the higher ability groups can often feel a pressure to stay at that high level. Take for example Lisa Simpson, who bases her whole identity sometimes on the fact that she is a high achiever. And there's a classic episode where somebody else who's smarter than her and younger than her comes into the classroom and she feels threatened. And we can see how her self-esteem is being impacted.
I need help, Mom. There's another girl at school who's smarter, younger, and a better sax player than me. Ugh, I feel so average.
Now naturally, if your self-esteem is taking a hit, you're being teased, you're being picked on, your expectations of yourself could be lowered. Or on the flip side, you could have really high expectations for yourself that, as I said, it causes stress, it causes anxiety.
I've never gotten a B before. How could this have happened? I feel so dirty. The dirt's not coming off. Okay, calm down.
And it's interesting because even though lower ability children, higher ability children couldn't be further apart on tables or in separate rooms, when it comes to their attitude towards tests, you can get pretty much the same reaction sometimes.
We're going to take a test.
Test?
But it's not only us that has expectations on ourselves. We get it from our parents, but most importantly from our teachers. The teachers who ultimately decide these ability groups, decide who goes in what table, who goes in what classroom. Now, studies have found that teachers inadvertently communicate these expectations through their ability groups, through the work that they set. In cases of ability grouping, this can influence or even promote a child's belief of what they think they're capable of.
Not you to worry, class. These tests will have no effect on your grades. They merely determine your future social status and financial success, if any.
And the consequences of this is that a child can come to believe that the expectations of themselves is to be destiny. It's a permanent state that they're of low ability. And this can be seen through their behaviours, their attitudes, that they just don't believe in themselves. And it comes what's called a self-fulfilling prophecy, whereby the child believes their perceived ability to be rather destiny rather than just a targeted teaching technique, which ability grouping, that's all it's intended to be. So in summary, we can see how children can be harmed through ability grouping and its application. They can be teased, they can be bullied, they can take hits and have a negative impact on their self-esteem, their motivation, their attitudes. But also we can see how expectations of themselves from their teachers can also impact. Now, teacher expectations is particularly interesting, and it goes into my next video where we look at how are these groups organized, who chooses who goes where, can children move about, who looks after the high ability, the low ability. If you want to be a part of that next video, make sure you hit subscribe. Find me on social media, but the best way to support this channel is just make a comment below. If you've ever been a part of ability grouping, or you've got an opinion about it, leave it below, because my favorite part of making these videos is responding to the comments and talking education. That's all I want this channel to be about, and I hope you become a part of it. I hope to see you in the next week's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. My name's Joshua. Bye bye.